Welcome back to the Nerd Erotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And finally, I dropped everything and shuffled around our schedule so I could binge Maniac, which I'm glad I did. I'm very glad I did. Very, very good show. Excuse me. I'm not going to do what we usually do. We're not going to go over the entire plot. We're here to discuss the show. Just briefly, we have our two main characters are played by Jonah Hill and Emma Stone, and it's Owen Milgram and Annie Landsberg, two broken, lonely people suffering from traumatic experiences and trying to just deal with life. And hello, everybody in the chat. Get to you momentarily. Yes, welcome. If you're new to the channel, we do interactive reviews, discussions of shows viscerally. And yeah, I can't believe I finished it this fast considering what little time I had this weekend, but I was able to burn through 10 episodes. And again, really glad I did. The show's not perfect, but it's pretty damn, it's visually perfect. It's got some weird story elements, and we could talk about those, but most of all, really fun, kind of sad, but a good little happy ending, cute ending. So we follow Owen Milgram, who's dealing with a couple things. He's diagnosed schizophrenic, and he feels invisible. He's an incredibly lonely person, black sheep of his family. In the plot, the family's asking him to be a character witness for one of his brothers, and in the beginning of the show, we do not know what his brother did. We're assuming it was just bad. The family is putting a lot of pressure on him. And they're completely insensitive to his condition, even to the point of threatening to have him locked up if he doesn't comply to what the family does, which puts even more pressure on him. And he also loses his job or gets furloughed. Annie is, we don't know at first. At first, she lost a dog, and we're playing with time a little bit, but we know she and her mom left her, and she talks about wanting to go to Salt Lake to see her sister, which we later find out that her, before I go too far on, there will be spoilers in this. Sorry for the lateness of this, but spoiler warning. Thank you, Viking Bitch, for the wonderful spoiler warning paddle. We find out later on that her sister died. So they have both of them are just crushed people. They are lonely people. They are lost people. Annie's dad, spends his time in this little incubator called a void that's in his backyard that's hooked up to a couple garden hoses. And the setting is what really makes it. It's a quasi-futuristic, possibly alternate timeline retro future. So everything down to the cars to the machinery is 80s. But it's also somewhat futuristic in the technology. I don't know, but it's wonderful. So it reminds me of a little bit of Philip K. Dick, Kurt Vonnegut. Oh, geez. Legion, the show Legion. It reminds me a lot in the music, in the tones. It's directed by the great Cary Joji Fukunaga, who is brilliant, beyond brilliant, a visionary, a future. He's going to be probably the biggest director in Hollywood soon. And he's particularly great on TV, and I think he is partially responsible for leveling TV up to a visual medium. True Detective season 1 is visual genius. It's a genius. It's almost a perfect season of television. It is so damn good, and I think he's really good for these one-offs. There's like these miniseries. This Maniac reminds me of something that they would have put, it would have been some little art house film even maybe 7 years ago, but it plays much better as a series. Netflix is flexing their muscles on this one, and Hollywood should be scared because this is the kind of shit that wins awards, and it is just a little one-off series that they barely promoted, which means they probably have a lot more to come. They didn't promote this very much. I had not heard of it until 48 hours ago. And now I'm maybe 72 hours ago. And I'm blown away. Absolutely blown away. Emma Stone, I cannot say enough about Emma Stone. Best performance I've ever seen her in. She carries this show. She's brilliant. Jonah Hill does some fine work as a very quiet, he speaks really softly, barely lifts his eyes up half the time. He does play multiple roles within this in the subconscious or conscious mind that we're traveling through. And another standout for me, I hope I don't butcher her name, is oh god, I have it written down here. It's here. I'll just get to IMDb so I don't butcher it too much. And it was Azumi, Dr. Azumi Fujita, who was played by Sonoya. God, I'm so bad with these. Mizuno, Sonoya Mizuno. She was fucking brilliant too. Really loved Azumi. I like her awkward hair and her like really bad posture and smoking cigarettes all the time. And of course, there was the great Justin Theroux, who is one of those guys who's uber talented, doesn't get enough work, in my opinion. Some of his finest work was actually in Charlie's Angels. I thought he was great in that. So yeah, and he was also in The Leftovers. This is co-created by Patrick Somerville, who had worked on The Leftovers, and of course, Cary Fukunaga, who has been on True Detective, and he is going to be directing the new Bond film. This also had Gabriel Byrne and Sally Field. She was fucking great. Gabriel Byrne was great. And dude, this was a mixed bag. This was it really, towards the end, it started feeling very Slaughterhouse-Five, just jumping through a consciousness. So these two characters end up at a drug trial because they need money. Well, one of them, Jonah Hill's character, needs money, and Annie is addicted to one of the pills that's in the program. It's got an A, B, and C pill. She is addicted to the A pill, and she wants to score. And in this world, you can hire people to blackmail. You can hire people to be your friend. You can hire a husband. You have Ad Buddy, which they kind of lost towards the end. I love the concept of that. We really need to revisit this world, okay, in some other form. So if they do a season 2 with some new characters, I'd be okay with that, visiting this world. We had the little sanitation robot, which almost had a personality of its own. It's a little robot that cleans up dog shit around the city. And it's kind of a cute fucking robot. It's funny, the little pooper robot, and it sprays a little blue liquid after it cleans it up. So they end up at the drug trial. And it's a controversial drug trial where there's been some problems. And in the middle of the trial, one of the doctors dies, so they have to call back the guy who created the system. Venture Brothers callback that was pointed out by MovieFanobi and Viking Bitch to me. Well, not callback, but just something very similar that happened in a recent Venture Brothers episode when Azumi walks in on Justin Theroux's character. It is a doctor. Oh my God, what's the last name? James K. Mantlare. He's in there basically getting sucked off by a machine with some peanut butter and some lubricants, possibly. Very awkward scene. They have to bring him back, and you find out like he created the system and had a breakdown due to some we lost some patients. It's the computer that runs this whole system. So it's a combination of, you take drugs and a computer reprograms your brain and heals you. So you can cure schizophrenia, it takes away all your pain. And the whole theory is it erases pain from your life. And you have to go through this drug cocktail while the computer you're hooked up to, which is called Greta, and it's artificial intelligence. So it is somewhat aware. And we find out more aware than we thought, helps reprogram your brain. So when the first doctor dies, Robert, we find out that the computer was in love with Robert, and we see a little scene of Robert reading the computer poetry. And they had as Azumi puts it, they started an inappropriate workplace relationship. And the thing is, this is funny. It's weird because it's kind of sad and morose, but it's also hilariously funny. It's got some great scenes. There's John Wick scenes in here. There's high fantasy. There's straight up. So there's John Wick, Lord of the Rings, freaking X-Files. Oh God, it goes all over the place. So when they go in for this drug trial, Annie finally gets her drugs, and they find out she kind of lied and she's been habitually using them. So during one of the trials, the computer short circuit, and that's on top of Azumi actually giving the computer some emotion so it can anticipate problems so people don't get trapped in the system, because that has happened before. So during this malfunction, on the second time in, we get an arc, an electrical arc on the battery connection, and Jonah Hill's character, they're supposed to be going through their own memories, dealing with A is God, I'm forgetting I remember the B drug. So A is anagon, right? And it's supposed to deal with the agony of your life, the trauma. So you're supposed to relive your worst event. And then B is behavioral, and you're supposed to recognize your blind spots, and it helps you, find basically getting rid of your defense mechanisms. And then the C drug, I forgot what the name of it was, help me in the chat, was confrontation. You're basically dealing with confrontation, and it helps you deal with your problem, and supposedly that's going to cure you. And of course it doesn't. They go through this drug test. It feels like a couple of days, and Annie and Owen they start sharing their memories, and they help each other out. And through this, they become friends. At first, they're adversary, and Owen doesn't let anybody get near him, because we find out in his past he has, episodes, and he ends up alienating people and scaring people, and it makes him feel worse about himself. He feels invisible. It's really fucking sad how he feels. But I love the resolution at the end. I really do. You guys are right. So there is a point. This show, and I'm going to get to the chat right after this. The show goes all over the place, and that's the fun part about it. But also, some parts don't work, and that's cool. I kind of agree that episode 8 or 9, the one that the John Wick one, it was fun for a second, but it gets really gory at times. Somebody gets shot in half. It's fucking nuts. And there's a stolen lemur, and it's just like a bunch of random shit. My favorite random scene is when Annie is going to cop some drugs, and there's a kid playing chess with a robot purple koala, a foul-mouthed robot purple koala, who's all like, everything you own is mine, bitch. This is going to the eucalyptus fund. Justin Theroux was genius in the show, and again, everybody in here like acted their ass off, and I prefer Jonah Hill in serious roles than comedic roles, although at the end when he was playing the Icelandic guy, that was pretty fucking funny. I was laughing throughout that whole bit. The whole Area 51 scene with the alien, and the fantasy scene where they're going through, it's basically Lord of the Rings. It was great. It was really well done. Sally Field. So it turns out the computer's mind was based on Justin Theroux's character's mom. He has major, major mother issues, stemming from when dad left, that she talked about wanting to commit suicide when he was 8, and just warped him completely. So everything Justin Theroux's character does is based on trying to get back at his mom. His mom's a famous psychiatrist. She's got a radio show and does books, so it's all reactionary. That kiss I could have done with that. What the kiss? What in the elevator between Theroux and Azumi? I thought that was kind of funny, actually. So let's see what you guys think of it. I overall think it was pretty damn good. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Highly recommend you taking your time. This show is best binge. I'm usually not about the binging, but yes, you have to binge this. I think watching this weekly would have been torture, absolute torture. So binge away, folks. The AC and the Icelandic story took me out of it. It got a little weird, but it rallies so good at the end. It got very weird, very, very weird at the end. But I think that's kind of the point. And I like weird, and that's where it started reminding me of Slaughterhouse-5 a lot, was the last 2 episodes. But definitely 8 out of 10. Not perfect, but perfectly directed. Okay. So I can't say enough about my homeboys from Oakland, Okay, Cary Fukunaga. That guy is the future of Hollywood. He's fucking brilliant. I will watch anything he does. And there's so few directors. I'll just like if I hear a director's name involved, I used to, there used to be the days like Spielberg's involved, or we David Lynch. We'd watch anything by them, and those have kind of gone by the wayside. So hopefully there's a new, a new sect of directors and for TV. Episode 7 was the worst one, reminding me of the episode of Stranger Things 2 where they presented the young X-Men. Yes, Mako. Yeah, I'm not a fan of episode 7 of Stranger Things, but I still overall liked it, and it wasn't bad enough to derail the whole show. Sally Field was fucking awesome, especially Sally on Sally. That was fun. There's a scene where Justin Theroux asks his mom to help, although it kills him to do it. And that's when she finds out that the computer's brain is based on her own. So they have to put her into the computer, and she has to sit there and psychoanalyze herself. And it ends very, very badly. The acting and the sets were amazing. Absolutely amazing. What's up, Mr. Pete's channel? Did you get 500 subs yet? I haven't checked yet. Yes. Let's get up here in the chat. And good to see you too, Talim 29. How's it going? So yeah, I had to start an hour later today because fuck math, man. My kid's math homework. I like the female Japanese doctor as well. I think she was in Ex Machina. She was. She is excellent. I like Sally Field referred to her as legs. Barbed wire. Oh, I get it. Barbed wire. Duh. Hi, Gary. Hello, barbed wire. Marcus Kahn, Viking Bitch, Philip Gay Demick. I know I just saw Mead is streaming, so sorry for stepping on you guys, but we're just talking about a TV show. Smack that spoiler ass. I will, MovieFanobi. Yeah, my favorite scenes in this. Okay, so really love the ending. What I loved about the ending was Jonah Hill is schizophrenic. There's nothing you can do about it. And so fucking what? Yeah, and I love how, when Annie, when she, she deals with her problems, so she was responsible for killing her sister. Her sister was moving. They're very close. They're very close because their mom left. So it just kind of, sometimes that breaks families up. Sometimes it makes them tighter. Okay. So it made the two sisters very tight because their mom had left them at a very young age, which is horrible. And the younger sister was getting married, moving to Salt Lake City. And Annie was a little bit, codependent with her sister, but also like they were very tight, and she felt like that was the only friend who understood her, and she was leaving and she was heartbroken. So she decided to do what a lot of people do, sabotage the relationship and say some fucking horrible shit to her. And was just kind of a dick to her the whole time while they're driving out to Salt Lake City. She isn't paying attention when she's driving. Another guy in a truck falls asleep at the wheel. They have a head-on collision. It is a gnarly accident. That whole scene is unbelievable. Like they hit the car, they go over the cliff, and you're following. So Annie's sister's already knocked out, and Annie's conscious while the car is just falling down this huge cliff, and you follow them the whole way, and it's kind of quiet. And then we see the bottom, of course. The sister dies badly, very badly. And Annie is racked with this horrible guilt, and she takes the A pill, and the A pill makes her revisit that scene vividly every time she takes it. So she gets knocked out and she relives it, like every moment of it, and she starts to like it. And she's liking it because she gets to see her sister again. Although she has to relive that pain over and over and over and over and over again, and it's really fucking her up. And of course, she ran out of drugs, but it's the only thing that's getting her through the day, and that's what led her to cops. So we go through this whole journey with the two of them going, and that's why we're going, because the AI is malfunctioning and we're dealing with two really broken people. It's basically jumping through dreams for episode after episode, and in insane scenarios like trying to get a lemur, and again, they were not supposed to be together. So due to a malfunction, Owen and Annie are together this whole time, and they grow a bond through that. Although they don't realize it till the end. And what I like about the end is, after Annie's dealt with her sister and just let go at that point, she realizes like, oh shit, I just totally bailed on my friend, and we find out Jonah was supposed to go to court and lie for his brother, and he doesn't in the end. And his brother, ends up being taken away. We find out his brother I think sexually assaulted a woman, and and he wasn't going to lie for it. So his family, of course, had him committed, and Annie goes and breaks him out. But I really love what she says to him at the end about his schizophrenia. It's like, yeah, you have it. You're going to take medication. So what? So fucking what? And I thought that was cool. There needs to be a lot more of that. And it was a cool little scene where they're just driving away, and you see Jonah Hill's character like truly smile for the first time. He smiles throughout the show when he's playing other characters. They got one character, he's got a mullet. Another one, it's kind of Grand Theft Auto. That was weird. There's two episodes towards the end where it's you're basically outside of Rivendell in Lord of the Rings, and Annie and her sister are on some journey. As Annie's sister loved fantasy novels, and of course Annie hated it, and she plays a half elf ranger who's helping a elf princess on a quest who's sick or something like that. And the other story that they cut back to is like this Grand Theft Auto crime story. It's kind of jarring sometimes, but it's kind of cool too. But yeah, through all these, and they keep playing in different scenarios. I mean, we go from Lord of the Rings to a DMV in Jersey. So it's really hard to explain. The show is, I see madness. It is madness. It is, but it's the good kind. MovieFanobi says, yes, I like the show. I didn't like the Icelandic United Nations. I thought that was kind of funny. Or the John Wick madness. A couple of violent scenes seemed out of place, but those were all minor in a great show. There was a horrifically violent scene prior to that. And that was a little much. The one where the guy ends up in the bathtub, that was a little much, but it used a fantastical medium to tell a normal story. Wrapping the mundane around the fantastic is something I'm starting to really like. Mike Cedar. Counterpart does that wonderful. Actually, I think it's reverse though. I think it's the fantastic. Yeah, it's reverse. So Counterpart is the fantastic wrapped in the absolute mundane of a 1980s spy thriller, but set almost from the Soviet perspective. So there's a little less money, a little less technology. Everything's kind of brown. Yeah, Counterpart, definitely a good show. Mike Cedar says Emma Stone made me cry. Yeah, the range in this show was insane, and the color palette, just everything technical about the show shined. For one, it really helps that Netflix has this 4K streaming, and it looked fucking awesome. So that's two shows now, Altered Carbon and this show, where it just I don't know, the streaming services that are going to come out and try to compete with Netflix, I just wish them all the luck in the world, because you are light years behind. Luckily, only the stones I passed were here on the edge of the ocean. I love the magical stones that in the fantasy scene only come out when the elf pees them. She's all, I'm going to need more diamonds. She's all, I urinate those. Oh, God, that was funny. Emma Stone is great in her various personalities. The 40s one was my favorite. Slurmy Scott. That and the Jersey housewife who worked in the old folks home, kind of like that too. Mike Cedar says, I've watched Gary for some time. First time commenting, though. Well, welcome. Welcome into the chat, Mike. Glad to see you here. Glad to see you here. It's always good to be here. You're amongst friends. Felipe Diaz Snorri. Yes, Snorri. For Snorri. It was, yes. He told me secrets of the universe. That's why I have such unusual accent. Snorri. Sally Field was funny as shit. We forget, because she had so many serious roles. But back in the day when I had a big old crush on Sally Field, Smoking the Bandit, she was funny. She's a funny lady. See you guys in a bit. Got to watch the last 2 episodes. It's okay, Mary. It's all right. Some of Jonas Hill's wigs were bad. Yeah, the Snorri wig was pretty awful, but the Emma Stone's ones were good. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe it was I think that was on purpose. They did a lot of retro. There was a lot of 4x3. The instructional video for the AI and for the drug treatment was brilliant with Justin Theroux and the other doctor. Looking for your blind spots. Confrontation. What I like most about the show was that most of it covered serious subject matter. The few comedic parts were ridiculously over the top and made me laugh my ass off. Yeah. And there's some very serious subject matter that they kind of buried here, and just how people look at mental illness, how it's treated, this whole fact of the ridiculous ofness of it, being able to cure it, which is hilarious. And that whole, kind of Stone Age thinking, I would say, of like coming at it like you can cure stuff like that instead of just treatment. But isn't that our society? A little ABC pill and all our problems go away. Viking Bitch says Sally Field was one of the best things of the show by far. Loved the silver Rubik's Cube illuminated in red. Yes, that was cool. That was very cool. I got to say, I finished it and did not enjoy it where it went. Brilliant atmosphere wasted on a story that seemed way too tangential. I respect your opinion, Apple Crow. I do. I'm a fan of weirdness, and it's not for everybody. It really isn't. And this is like I said, you got to binge this. If you watch this week by week, it would probably be a completely different show and make you think about it too much. But a lot of focus on aesthetics in this one, and it worked for me. When she had the leftovers dude pinned up in the glass after he went blind, I couldn't stop laughing. Yeah, when he went blind due to his mother's love, or at least that's what he thought. He was blinded by his mother's toxic love. Oh, that was funny. And she's trying to give him a hug, and he can't get away from her fast enough. She's all, "Let me hug you." No. The nozzle. Presto changeo. Oh my gosh. Well, I was selfish. I wanted to know if I should have invested time in the show. I thought it was out of the loop when the show hit. Turns out we all were. Yes. It came out of nowhere. I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but did anybody hear about this a month ago? Maybe some of you did. I'm unplugged, so I have no idea, but I watched some Netflix and they don't really promote that other stuff. It's weird. It's kind of weird. Mr. Pete's channel has made 500 subs. Now he's got to change his name. Congratulations, Mr. Pete channel. Needs 500 subs. Welcome to the 500 sub club. GTA. Yes. Major GTA. The Mercedes at the end hit the GTA paint shop. Seriously, MovieFanobi. She's all, this is my car, and it's a Mercedes with flames on it. And I was like, I really like her. I really like her now. And how about Annie's dad being Hank Azaria? That was cool. I thought it was going to be some star we would know, and that was cool. That was a pleasant surprise. So, and at the end, Annie confronts her dad, and she still thinks he's in the void. And she's like, "Yeah, this doesn't work for me. You can't. I know it sucks. You lost your daughter, you lost your wife, but I need you, Dad." And then he was already out. He's all, "Yeah, did you steal all my money?" Which she did. Episode 9 was disjointed. I was not sure where they were going. $5 super chat from Agent Future. What's up, my man? Do you think that Netflix had a hard time marketing the show? So that's why they didn't advertise. $5. Thank you so much, Agent Future. Yes, I think it was just too hard of a show to like break down in a 2-minute. There is a trailer. It's good. What sold me was just they showed some quick scenes of just all the weird shit of all the of the Lord of the Rings stuff and everything. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. And I had to be sold because I am no Jonah Hill fan. I usually avoid things he's in. So no, the Sally Field kissing her son with the red lipstick all over his lips. Yeah. There was a lot of forced awkwardness in this. So Justin Theroux, he's a trippy actor. He really is. I never got into The Leftovers though. I know a lot of people love it, but that was not for me. Even though I heard Christopher Eccleston was awesome in it. I feel like it needed to be 8 episodes instead of 10. And I think it was like way too long for a relatable moment that we've seen so many times before. Yeah. If it didn't connect with you, it didn't. It did, but I mean, I'm going to say on the surface it was probably Emma Stone's performance and her character being likable. Jonah Hill's character is not super likable. He's sympathetic, but I don't know how likable he is till the end. So episode 7 was the worst. Yeah, and I already read that one. My favorite scene was when the young mob brother says, "I'll cover you," then gets blown away. Yeah, by fish and wildlife. was, uh, when fish and wildlife surrounds the building and they get into a gunfight. Uh, you're just fish and wildlife. What's the there's not really a difference between us and the cops. And then when the gunfight starts, the fish and wildlife's like, it's happening. He's so happy. Yeah, and my favorite part is when they snuck in to sneak out the lemurs at a fur shop with like these just Jersey Shore guys, and the 2 sons are practicing to be in a boy band. One of them's named Lance, and he's got like American flag parachute pants on, and one of those tank tops that's, I don't know, it looks like fishnets for lack of a better term. I don't know, the kind of stuff that people on the West Coast think East Coasters wear or used to wear, but probably don't very often, kind of like how we get stereotyped for being a little weird. I don't know where that stereotype comes from at all. California is perfectly normal. Mm-hmm. Liv Tyler was great in The Leftovers. I love Liv Tyler. What when you said about exploring the world, that would be cool. That building is huge, an elevator open to some crazy floors. Did you see them pass each other? In the credits, I did, MovieFanobi, when they were going the opposite way. And we heard Justin Theroux's character actually speaking the voiceover from the very beginning of the show about the amoeba. Yeah, and towards the end, when the 2 doctors were, when Azumi and Theroux's character were going down James. We're going down the elevator, and that one guy's fried, and he's all so. They're doing some amazing work on that project. And he's all, yeah, he says something in Japanese and like his head's on fire. Yeah, they definitely could explore. They could just go in that building. I think that would be fun. Oh yeah, they were claiming it wasn't him on the blurry tape, although you could totally tell it was him. Yeah, so during the trial, they did have tape of Owen's brother's name is Jed. He was also Owen had a vision of Jed, and it turns out it was the brother he wanted, not the brother he got. He got this brother who like killed a pet hawk that he brought back to life. It just was a horrible bully piece of shit to him his whole life. So he manifested this vision of a brother who would like actually look out for him and help him. And that's really sad. That's really fucking sad. And the vision even says it towards the end of the series. He's like, I'm basically, maybe I'm the brother, you should have had. It's like, oh man, that one hits you right in the freaking heart. And you during that scene, you really get a real sense of his loneliness, and like all he wanted was like a decent brother, which out of all his brothers he couldn't get. No, Apple Crow is completely normal. He's like baseline normal. What did Felipe do? For a moment, I was like, maybe is all of this a simulation for the scientist with mommy troubles, and he or someone else is trying to fix him? I wasn't sure towards the end either, Felipe. And they even say it in the show is maybe the whole project was to work on the computer, and and they kind of failed at that. They ended up having to kill Greta, which was sad, and it was Sally Field's voice. Just going down the chat here. What's up, Tim F? How you doing? I'm semi-perfect. Is that what way you were programmed, Apple Crow? Cells interlinked. Owen's whole family was shit. He didn't belong, although I don't think his mom was telling him to tell the truth. Yeah, I was a little mixed messagey from his mom there, but his family was shit. It's probably very good to be the black sheep of a family like that. Oh man, there's some Spanish going on. I can't read it for sure. I can run it through translator real quick, but that would take time. Talk amongst yourselves. So yeah, definitely worth the binge. Definitely worth checking out. It is something I recommend. Do I give it to the Nerdrotic seal of approval though? Can't do that. I can't do that. Nerdrotic seal of approval is 9 out of 10, which there's no such thing as a 10 out of 10, by the way. I don't ever pass those out. I would say the only time I would do that is Twilight Zone. And not even all the Twilight Zone. The hour-long episodes were too much for me. I watched them all. I enjoyed them, but the hour is too long for a Twilight Zone episode. So I will say most of the Twilight Zone, I give it 10 out of 10. Everything else is 9 or below. 9 is a seal of approval. For example, seal of approval, Counterpart, Legion, The Expanse all have the Nerdrotic seal of approval. Westworld seal was removed on season 2. Game of Thrones removed a long time ago. Talked about that in the previous podcast. Although we can always reapply it if they rally. But very, very good. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm going to get over here to our wonderful Patreon video, and then we'll talk to some more people in the chat. Hope everybody had a wonderful day. Yeah, so it was a little tough. Pretty much pushing everything out so I could finish the show, but I thought it was worth it. So, and it was. I'm going to end up recording or doing 4. There's going to be 4 uploads in 24 hours. One of them will be recorded though. So yeah, we're not going to do Manifest live because it's on too late and Dennis can't stay up that late. So I'm just going to record a quick video on that, and it'll probably be out in the middle of the night when it's done processing. I'm also going to cover Better Call Saul, which is just a great show. Just a fantastic show. Also, gonna be so it's Manifest, Better Call Saul still coming out tomorrow. The Gifted return, season 2. We get some X-Men stuff. Get to see what happened after the team split up. We have a good team and a bad team. Polaris has gone off to the bad team and embraced her dad's vision of by any means necessary for the mutants. We still don't know what happened on the July 15th incident. Yeah, a lot of stuff to figure out. What's up, Feisty? Why are you cussing? Why are you sad? Don't be sad. You're breathing. Agree, Gary. Interested, but no Alter Carbon, and certainly not the sacred show, The Expanse. And the Expanse is sacred. I'm not going to even fucking argue with that. It is absolutely sacred. And Alter Carbon's just fun. This would be hard to rate for me. I feel like the early promise was a 10 out of 10, and then it slides to 6 to 7, but still recommend. And that is from Apple Crow. The early promise was 10 out of 10. It did dip back a little bit towards the end. But still very enjoyable, worth your time. And you also got to put that against like most shows suck. So, and this is original. Definitely take the time to check out something original. And unlike the unfortunate Lodge 49, which I tried really hard to get into for Susan and for Bruce and everybody, and I just couldn't because it just didn't move at all. It's stuck. This show moved. It went ahead and moved. Sometimes it moved in some weird directions, but at least it was forward. Okay. So I'll give it that. Oh, you didn't get the notification, and I didn't get a chance to freaking share it on Twitter either. Oh well. Hopefully people will watch it later. The first video is doing okay, not great, but the Netflix videos tend to do better over time because I don't think anybody's done watching this show yet. I think some of us hardcore people in here. Agent Future says, I still give it 8 out of 10, and I agree with you, Agent Future. I give it 8 out of 10. Emma Stone, it could win under. I keep on saying win awards. F awards, F Emmys, F Oscars. We're gonna do our own. It's going to be voted on by our patrons, and it's not even going to be an award. It's just going to be like a shout out, like So Emma Stone is definitely getting nominated for whatever we call the Nerdrotic thing. I think we're just going to go ahead and call them the Uranus Awards. So we're going to do the Uranus Awards. I know I promised that, but I want to do it at the end of the year. And it's a no prize. Totally. We voted on by the people, and I want to get our patrons involved in that, and maybe our patrons could do like the nominations, and I think it'd be fun. It'd be a gala. We would not wear tuxedos though. No formal dress wear. None at all. And I can tell you right now, a clear early winner is probably going to be Counterpart. I can see Counterpart winning something, Expanse winning something, but Emma Stone is in the loop on this one because fuck, she was good. She was so good. Again, damn shame that she played Gwen Stacy. She would have been perfect for Gwen Stacy, and it got wasted in a damn dumb movie. Yes, we need to cover the Dragon Prince. I watched the first couple episodes, Feisty fan, and it's really good. I'm also a huge fan of The Last Airbender. Watched that with my oldest son growing up, and totally dig it. Can't wait for the live action one. I think that's going to be fun. With Netflix money behind it and the original creators, could be good. Could be good. So yeah, we will check out the Dragon Prince next, probably cover it next week. Farscape is going on the schedule. Okay, so one way or another, it's going on schedule. I'm getting it finished, got to get it done because I want to talk about it. Yeah, so I'll be back. I'll be back again in about because I went long on this one. So it's gonna be like 7:30, 7:45 for Better Call Saul. I'll be back for that. Then look for a recorded video. In the meantime, I think Midnight's Edge After Dark is live, doing a live stream, so you can go check them out if you'd like. Please like, share, and subscribe over there. And Mecha Random 42 and Overlord, DVD Overlord, Doomcock, and also check out Anti-Trekker. I've been watching a lot of him lately. And yeah, and Mr. Pete's channel needs 500 subs. Check each other out. Viking bitch in here. See the lovely and talented Viking bitch. God, I hope that's not like inappropriate. Can you call people lovely anymore? Or is that a thing? It's like, God, that sucks. I mean it with all the respect in the world. Come on. Viking bitch is an artist and she's very talented. She has her own YouTube channel. I think if you just click on the Viking bitch, you can go see some of her art. It's not art you see every day, and that's what I love about it. It's extremely unique to her. Got your own thing going over there, so that is awesome. October 8th, 2008, put on the toilet paper and tablet for Farscape. Yes, October 8th. Also coming up, Star Trek shorts we're going to be covering, and all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff coming up. So you saw our patrons over there. Those are our wonderful patrons. Those are the people who support this channel, make things happen, make things go. We're going to get a lot more content in the future. And yeah, so hope to see you guys in an hour. If not, have a great night. Enjoy it. If you're thinking about checking out the show, please do. Please do. Yeah, definite thumbs up on it. So thanks everybody in the chat. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness.